And on this video, we will talk about what are those DevOps services and tools that best fit for fintech applications in order to comply with best standards and achieve the best possible user experience ever. So, let's get started. We are very happy that you are here with us watching the fourth episode of our videocast series about DevOps for financial services. Let's go over the first perfect DevOps tool for fintech, which is Kubernetes. That is actually a very big trend nowadays in the digital companies world. But let's start by defining what is Kubernetes. Well, Kubernetes is a container orchestration service developed by Google, which uses Docker and is hosted in the cloud.
So, Juan Jose, what does Kubernetes offer for reliability?
First of all, Kubernetes offers autoscaling.
Okay.
Secondly, it offers blue-green deployments. Third, it offers multi-availability zones for its pods. And finally, it offers automated health checks, failovers, and rollback. And this is pretty important for fintech companies since, number one, it ensures that their applications are always up and running without any interruption. And secondly, the blue-green deployments ensure that the application is never down anytime that you want to upload new code changes into your application.
I have another question. Why Kubernetes better from other alternatives?
Basically, Kubernetes is more robust than other container orchestration tools, but we translate this robustness on the fact that Kubernetes offers a better disposability approach for containers. Also, Kubernetes offers a better security layer by creating its own secure networking in the cloud. And lastly, Kubernetes has the big advantage of being able to run on several cloud providers such as AWS, Microsoft Azure, and Google Cloud Platform.
The second tool is Jenkins for continuous iteration and continuous delivery pipelines. So what is Jenkins? Well, Jenkins is an end-to-end continuous iteration and continuous delivery tool to automate your software delivery process through automation, rapid feedback, code validation, and automated testing. As well, Jenkins helps you to unify and merge different branches into one centralized repository, commonly named under Git. Some of the features that Jenkins has is, number one, it has the ability to integrate your testing in your software delivery process and also in your build process. Number two is that it's pretty and extremely robust. It's been called the father of continuous integration and continuous delivery pipeline. The number three is that allows you to create blue and green deployments similar to Kubernetes and Amazon ECS. And the last reason is that Jenkins introduced lean principles like rapid feedback and quick, visible results.
And now, Alfonso, I have a question. Why should fintech companies choose Jenkins instead of some of the other CI/CD tools that we find in the market?
One of the reasons is that you can bring your own continuous integration and continuous delivery tool internally in your cloud environment. As you may know, financial services and healthcare companies require some regulations and compliance to use CI/CD tools internally. The second reason is that Jenkins is pretty cost effective. So you can run jobs in parallel, you can run multiple builds, compared to other cloud alternatives or CI/CD cloud providers where they charge you by executed time and per build. Another good reason is that it's totally free and it's open source. Similarly, it has a broader community with millions of users and thousands of developers to grow this open source tool. The last reason is because it has several plugins where it can be integrated in your tool. For example, Jira, Slack, or any other third party that you need to leverage in your pipeline. If the tool is not available, you can build your own plugin in this case. Every fintech should incorporate his own continuous integration and continuous delivery pipeline. Fintech must adopt holistic and end-to-end delivery process in order to increase your time to market, your web development productivity, and reduce your web development costs.
Now, let's go over the third perfect DevOps tool for Fintech, which is AWS Lambda for serverless development. But first, let's start defining what is AWS Lambda. It's a cloud service that allows you to program and run code without the necessity to have servers or provision any servers. AWS Lambda supports Python, JavaScript, Java, and C# languages for its current function.
So Juan Jose, what are some good examples of use case for Amazon Lambda?
Well, the use cases that fintech companies can have from AWS Lambda is, first of all, for example, fintech companies can code their entire backend using AWS Lambda and without the necessity to have that backend hosted in any server. Secondly, they can automate the update of firmware in hardware devices. Third, fintech companies can schedule automatic execution for some functions that their application may need for their operations. For example, they can automate the creation of daily analysis reports, they can automatically send content on S3, they can schedule periodic backups, among some of the most important. And lastly, AWS Lambda is scalable, which means that you will never run out of server resources to execute your Lambda functions. And well, these are just the operational benefits for AWS Lambda, but then there comes another important part, which is what are the economical benefits of implementing AWS Lambda. So the main benefit that fintech companies can get from Lambda is that since Lambda doesn't use any application server to run, fintech companies can save the maintenance costs and the ownership costs for having servers that run their backend.
So, Juan Jose, why Amazon Lambda is the best option for serverless?
Well, the first reason is I will say that it's scalability. As I mentioned before, AWS Lambda allows you to have all the necessary server resources that you need to execute your Lambda functions. And the second reason that I will mention why this is better than other serverless services is the cost. AWS Lambda is really cost effective for fintech companies since you are only charged a little dollars for a long time execution of Lambda functions.
And the fourth tool is Terraform. Terraform, it's an open source tool that allows you to automate infrastructure as code in a flexible, repeatable, and programmable way. As well, Terraform enables infrastructure to be treated as code, versioned, and be reviewed by multiple teams or departments. Additionally, Terraform is one of the part of the DevOps and cloud native principle, which is infrastructure as code.
Alfonso, what would you say that are the most important features or capabilities that Terraform has?
That's a very good question. The first reason is that Terraform incorporates immutable infrastructure principles. The second reason is that Terraform includes orchestration instance of configuration. You can coordinate and provision your infrastructure. The third reason is that you gain visibility across different teams and departments. And the last reason is that it brings consistency across different environments within your infrastructure.
And why is Terraform a better option for infrastructure as code than other solutions that we can find in the market?
One aspect is that Terraform doesn't use a master server and is agentless. The second aspect that Terraform separates the planning phase from the running phase. The third aspect is that Terraform supports multi-cloud like Google Cloud, Amazon, and Azure. And the last aspect is that Terraform has a broader community around the world compared to other cloud providers or like CloudFormation. Additionally, that you can download multiple scripts, Terraform modules, and any template in internet, which is very, very useful for your automation and your speed up of your web development. Now guys, to conclude on Terraform and infrastructure as code are key players in the DevOps landscape. As well, you gain more control, more visibility, and you get infallible SaaS application due to the fast and flexible process to recover.
And finally, we have come into the last perfect DevOps tool for Fintech, which is TensorFlow for machine learning and artificial intelligence. Let's first define what is TensorFlow. TensorFlow is an open source tool developed by Google for machine learning and artificial intelligence, which uses Python and C++ as base for its coding. TensorFlow also is usually combined with Keras API for creating complex neuronal networks.
What are some of the use cases for TensorFlow in the financial services space?
You'll see fintech companies usually have very specific requirements.
Okay.
And on those requirements, TensorFlow can be really useful. For example, TensorFlow can help fintech companies for making automatic financial advisory. It can also help companies to make fraud detection and prediction. It can also help fintech companies to make automatic trading decisions. And finally, it can make automatic analysis of the trends on insurances and investments.
So Juan Jose, this brings me to the next question. What does make TensorFlow the best option for machine learning and artificial intelligence?
First of all, TensorFlow is really friendly across the different cloud platforms. And we can observe this in the fact that AWS has its own machine learning and artificial intelligence service, which is AWS SageMaker. As you may know, AWS SageMaker is based on TensorFlow. Secondly, TensorFlow has a bigger community of developers, which means that anyone who has any possible issue with his development will easier find the solution to the issues. And also, he will have access to more and new techniques for machine learning and artificial intelligence. And lastly, TensorFlow has lately integrated Keras API as its high-level API, which gives you the opportunity to extend the use of more features for machine learning and artificial intelligence.
These are the essential DevOps tools for your financial service application. Tool number 1. Choose Kubernetes whenever you are outside of Amazon Web Services and you need to be multi-cloud. Tool number 2. Go for Jenkins because it's the father of the continuous integration and continuous delivery. Tool number 3. Go cloud native with Amazon Lambda and adopt the maximum of the cloud. Tool number 4. Love Terraform as we do for your infrastructure as code and automation. And lastly, the last tool for your machine learning and artificial intelligence, go for TensorFlow. So guys, we have concluded this episode about DevOps Toolchain for financial services. Hopefully you have enjoyed this episode as we did. Thanks for watching us. Thank you, Juan Jose. See you later.
Bye-bye.
Hey guys, thanks for watching. If you really like this video, then give us a thumbs up. Don't forget to subscribe in our YouTube channel and be aware of the newest videos in the DevOps Talk.